What's going on, people? It's your boy Clutch Chaos back with another Clutch Reacts, guys. We are doing another reaction to Mortal Kombat. This is the Legacy of Mortal Kombat featuring Ed Boon. This dropped 3 days ago. I saw it like 3 days ago and I wanted to react to it early, but I was having some ear pain, so I was out of commission for a couple days. I really couldn't do anything. I couldn't record because I couldn't really hear that well. But we good now. We back. We better than ever. And I thought, beautiful. Perfect time. We just finished reacting to the Digital Eclipse panel where they talked more about the Legacy Collection. So this right here is probably just going to be an interview with Ed Boon talking about the 30 years of Mortal Kombat, him and also Tyler Lansdowne. So I'm interested to see what they talk about because they might drop some little... You know NRS, they love to be dropping them little hints of Mortal Kombat, and plus, I just love hearing the history of Mortal Kombat. Any interview that Ed Boon does recently that we don't react to is a disservice. We gotta react to it. But, without further ado, first things first, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I appreciate you guys for the subscribers, for the love, for the comments, everything. I love you guys, man. You don't understand, bro. You guys make my days. Every time I'm at a low point, when I say low point, I mean like when I'm just dropping videos at a low rate and I see somebody comment and I see y'all like the video, it motivates me to just keep locking in. That is a crazy gesture. Don't even look at that. Also, what I need you guys to do is I need you to show the creator some love, man. Show this video some love. Watch this video yourself. The link in the description will be down below to watch the full video without me. Then you come back, watch my reaction, watch me put my 2 cents. Okay, I'm gonna try to be quiet as I watch this, because I know some of y'all was commenting like, yo, how is he gonna tell us be quiet, but then he gonna keep talking? It's just what I do, yo. At the end of the day is what happens. Without further ado, guys, the Legacy of Mortal Kombat featuring Ed Boon and Tyler Lansdowne. Transition to the video now. Alright, guys, and let's continue right now. Let's look at our quality. I like that. Let's go for the guys.
While we were making the games, we had no idea that it was, you know, really kind of...
Ed Boon, you lying, fam. You lying, Ed.
The design inspiration for the cast, as well as just the game in general, was just our influence from watching movies, comic books, TV shows, anything with action in it. So we were certainly
this is so cool.
Of the 70s and the 80s growing up. And so a lot of our characters are actually really influenced by those characters. Liu Kang is clearly influenced by Bruce Lee and some of the characters.
We all knew that.
Johnny Cage is Jean-Claude Van Damme. Sonya Blade is Sarah Connor. And
oh, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
It's really just a collection of all the influences that we had put into a group of
these the real in sync. This the real in sync right here, yo. Look at my boys, bro. Yo, man. Oh, this is so lit, man.
4 guys in their 20s.
I'm so giddy with this. This is fire, man.
All contributing.
It's so fire to me.
And you could just see the influence. Enter the Dragon, Big Trouble in Little China. You could see how Mortal Kombat could be formed. This was our first fighting game that we had done. We had
Mortal Kombat 1.
John Tobias had, like his previous games were, you know, he drew all the graphics. So this was his kind of first digitized game. So there was a lot of work with lighting and whatnot, and trying to get as realistic of a look as possible. And, you know, John would always describe it as like a gritty look. He really didn't want it to be pristine graphics. He wanted it to look almost like you could see the errors and bleeding in the characters. It made them look that much more realistic, like a photograph as opposed to sprites or anime or something like that. But there was quite a bit of trial and error. There was a huge amount of winging it, right? Like, you know, the Scorpion Spear move was literally just an idea that popped up as we were talking. You know, I had asked for like this harpoon thing, and John said, oh, let's make the tail, you know, kind of like a snake. And literally we're just making it up on the spot.
It's so crazy hearing Ed Boon and, you know, talk about like how these ideas were just on the spot, bro. And that's one of the key things that like I want to push today with a creative space, man. That like, yo, if you guys have any ideas, bro, you share that shit in the forefront, bro. Like to think that The Scorpion that we know today, the iconic, infamous Scorpion with the snake get over here with the spear. To think that that almost didn't even make the game, that was just a thought on the fly. It wasn't even premeditated. It was just like, yo, mid-design, what if we just give him a harpoon, gang? Like, and now that's one of the most iconic moves that, like, somebody that's never even played a Mortal Kombat game can tell you exactly what that move's called. They tell you, oh, that's the get over here. Like, they know exactly what that is. And it's like, man, yo, if you guys have creative ideas, and I'm speaking for myself and for my viewers as well, man, let that shit out, man. Create something, bro. You never know how crazy this could be, bro. Like, think about that, bro. A character like Scorpion almost didn't have a spear move. Like, imagine a universe where he doesn't have a get over here. Ed Boon, I'm sorry, but you need to continue, please, because you speak in facts. Read the guys.
And literally, we're just making it up on the spot. And it ended up being, you know, one of the most, if not the most, kind of recognizable move in Mortal Kombat. So
exactly.
We didn't draw that on paper. We didn't give a, it was just, you know, us standing around while we were filming.
Whoa.
Well, Midway Games had kind of pioneered in the arcade this.
My bad, they cooking
graphics, basically taking real live objects or real live people and turning them into sprites and putting them into the game. So we had a number of games, Narc, you know, Terminator 2 arcade game, a couple of games that I had worked on, and
that's tough.
Some of them were hand-drawn, Smash TV, but the main technology that Midway was really leaning into was digitized graphics. So that had already been established.
We talked about that in our last reaction.
We had thought of Mortal Kombat that the next game was going to be a digitized graphics. So then the process was really finding a room with a back wall that we could color a certain color and filming real people doing punches and kicks and flips and things that we certainly couldn't do in costume and creating these you know, in some ways they're kind of like superheroes, right? They have the costumes, they have abilities that they can do. That was always part of the plan, but we were just kind of utilizing the technology that we had available to us in a category of games that Midway had never made before. We really thought that, you know, fighting games was a great new category to explore. I do think it influenced other game studios. It also influenced us. Midway released a wrestling game that was digitized graphics as well, and they brought in the actual wrestlers and stuff.
Oh, that's sick! I didn't know that.
Really leaning into it with, like, you know, recognizable celebrities. You know, the guys that we used weren't, you know, celebrities at the time, but, you know, the guy who played Doink the Clown. I remember the Undertaker. They were all coming in and doing that. I don't remember a lot of arcade games coming out with that technology because I guess it was, you know, you had to have a studio, you had to have like an expertise on it. MK2 came out.
Yo, this beat is cooking. I want to rap.
And that looked much better than the first games. We had a sweet spot there where we were kind of the only kids in town with a digitized arcade game.
Yo, and we touched on that in our last reaction video, but like, yeah, like Mortal Kombat, they were known for their digitized graphics in the beginning. And knowing now that, like, they were pretty much the only company doing that Midway at the time is pretty sick. I didn't even know about that WrestleMania thing where they actually had the wrestlers. That's pretty sick. For casual people that know about Mortal Kombat lore, they would think that the first Mortal Kombat was the peak. That wasn't the case. Mortal Kombat 2 was really like when Mortal Kombat got that peak. Mortal Kombat 2 is arguably in a lot of people's top 5s, top 10s greatest fighting games of all time. Like, it's up there with Street Fighter 2. It's up there with Virtua Fighter 2. It's up there with Third Strike. It's up there with, you know, Soul Calibur 2. Like Mortal Kombat 2 is a pioneer game for real. Like, that game was insane. Now that with Legacy Collections coming out, I'm gonna have more hands-on with that game to really go in, because at that time, I was young. I was little. I wasn't even like 5-6 years old. You feel me? Playing that game. So playing it now in today's time, it's gonna be a hell of a lot different. It's gonna be a hell of a lot more challenging. But I'm excited, man. Continue, por favor.
The core elements that need to be in a Mortal Kombat game are probably some amount of the supernatural, some amount of grounded universe as well. Usually the mixture of the two is a big part of the appeal of Mortal Kombat, is putting regular people in a supernatural situation. I think that's a lot of what players experience too, as well as we want to see our characters experience. As far as gameplay, my feeling is when you're 33 years old, when you're on your 12th or 13th game, there's a certain amount of new features that we need to introduce.
Oh, I love it! I love it! Yes, Conquest!
Oh, they added this, as opposed to just putting a prettier coat of paint on these characters that you've been seeing for, 30 plus years. Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Raiden, Katana. There's a number of these kind of staple characters that it's like having a Justice League without Batman in it.
For me, it's obviously the gore and the crazy finishers.
We're gonna have to grade this whole part out.
We've made, we've always
Tyler was good!
Be it animalities from the most recent, things like that too, or mercies from back in the day when we brought those back. That can also be the hard part too, because with 30 years, there's so many things we just can't fit into one game, obviously. But definitely like finishers, always huge, and you gotta have Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
You mistake me.
You mistake me, Kodo. I'm gonna let you finish. But he's right. You gotta have Scorpion Sub-Zero. I'm sorry, yo. But like any Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat 3, that didn't have Scorpion, I don't know what the hell y'all was thinking, to be real. I don't know who was in that meeting that was like, you know what? I think Scorpion shouldn't be in the game. Like, real shit. I don't think Scorpion should be in the game, man. If I was Ed Boon, I looked at it, I'd have backhand homie. Like, what you mean? What you mean Scorpion ain't in the game, son? Like, listen, Mortal Kombat, I say this, bro. Scorpion, Sub-Zero. I don't give a shit about anybody else. Those two gotta be in the game. You can literally have an entire new generation roster of characters. Scorpion and Sub-Zero are the only two OGs. They gotta stay. They gotta stay. I would actually appreciate a brand new, fresh Mortal Kombat game with a whole bunch of new people, but Scorpion and Sub-Zero gotta be the ones. They gotta stay. They're the pioneers. They have to stay. Continue.
The story was really just a couple of paragraphs. There was a bio, and then you would see the character doing like a kata or something, and then there was an ending. What I think a lot of people don't realize is a lot of people filled in the rest of the story with their imagination. We made them a little bit more elaborate in Mortal Kombat 2, but we didn't get into like the, telling a really deep story until, 4 or 5 games down the line, where we had endings that were more animated and whatnot. But there was certainly a mystery element to the lore, because there was so little information that just caused so much more speculation. We didn't choose to do that. As far as the characters,
I'm gonna let you finish, Ed. I'm gonna let you finish. Relax. Once you got to Deadly Alliance, that's when the story kind of started to connect for me a little bit. And that's why I love the 3D era Mortal Kombat so much, because I started to understand what the game was about. The arcade games, they had a story to it, but it felt like an individual story towards that game specifically. It was never reoccurring to the next game. Deadly Alliance to Deception to Armageddon, that was a reoccurring story. And even Shaolin Monks. Shaolin Monks was like a retelling of the first 2 Mortal Kombat games. And then Mortal Kombat 9 was a retelling of the first 3 games. Modern games and the PS2 era games, they have a softer spot with me personally, because I started to understand the story. I started to get it, right? I started to understand why Scorpion and Sub-Zero beefed. I started to understand who Shang Tsung and Quan Chi were. I started to understand why Shao Kahn was so damn ruthless, right? Because in the arcades, you're just seeing this boss Shao Kahn. Oh, he's the guy. He's annoying as shit. But now you're starting to get more, oh, he took over Edenia. Oh, he's Katana's stepfather. Oh, now we understand why she hate bro. Why we get all that. It's so insane to think, right? Because in my creative space, if I want to create something, I want to have everything down to the wire. Like I'm never gonna create a movie, right? But if I were to create a movie, I'm already putting in the pieces to the sequel. I'm already putting in the pieces to the trilogy, right? I'm not thinking of it on the fly. So for them to be thinking of it on the fly and then having to connect it, that's why they... Oh, Daddy, shit. That voice crack was crazy. We keeping that. They had to create Armageddon. They had to literally wipe everybody out. Mortal Kombat 9 had to be a retelling because now they finally had a story that they could really tell us. Because if they would have kept it with the Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon story, it would be a very confusing story arc. Yeah, it's crazy for them, the fact that they thought of this on the fly, rather than someone like me, where it's like, I'm the kind of person that if I'm gonna make something, I gotta put the pieces for the next title, and the next, I gotta be like 10 steps ahead of the game type shit.
We didn't choose to do that. As far as the characters not being in a certain game, for production reasons, we couldn't include all the characters, so we didn't have
Why not?
Kano in Mortal Kombat 2.
Why not, though?
So, you know, John wrote the story to say, oh, this happened to them and that happened. We tied Sonya up, and the story basically just was like, this is why you're not seeing this character. And everybody, you know,
that made
like,
sense.
okay,
that made
makes
sense.
a lot of sense.
Why you didn't have Scorpion, though?
Mortal Kombat vs. DC was the first game where we actually had the cinematic story that would play, and then we were putting fights in between the story. But with Mortal Kombat 9, it was really exciting.
That was the real deal. This was the real deal.
We see a script, and we see them reading the script, and it was very much like making a movie. Mortal Kombat 11 was obviously the 11th kind of installment in terms of like advancing the story. So when we started, it was, you know, Shang Tsung, and then you find out that he has a boss, Shao Kahn, and we kept layering bosses with each game, right? And each game we wanted it to be bigger stakes, a more threatening boss, a bigger boss. And we had done like a time jump forward in Mortal Kombat X. All the characters were 25 years older, they had kids and whatnot. When we reached Chronicon, we had gotten so grand and so big that we were like, you know, we just can't think of yet an even more who's looking down all over all of that, you know. So Liu Kang had won,
Facts.
right? He had become kind of like this, the
Like,
new
that's
fire
insane.
god and whatnot. And we thought, you know what, let's try to scale down. But at the same time, we also wanted to kind of plant the seed, like we did in MK11, that there are many Mortal Kombats. And some of them Shang Tsung won, and some of them Liu Kang won, and you know, there was a crossing of those two in MK1. So the main kind of reason we reset was because it had gotten so big that we thought, okay, you know, the only direction to go now is
Back down.
to shrink it down again.
Go back down, yeah.
Imagine bringing your
Combat advertisement!
Combat Cast starts now.
Combat Cast, talk to me.
All right, and welcome to the latest edition of the Combat Cast. So when it came to coming up with the Combat Cast, we wanted a way to show our fans kind of in real time what was happening, and like
I
show
love the Combat Cast
characters
stuff
as we were making them, and be able to walk through the entire thing. I've had so many amazing fans come up and say, like, every Thursday, that's what we watch. We watch it. I'm ready for it. I watch it with my friends. We love doing it because it's a really good way to get out in front of the fans and show them the things that they want to see.
I love the
The
Combat
Mortal
Cast,
Kombat
man.
games,
So
they
dope.
probably go a little bit further in terms of the outrageous, right? It's not just fighting. We're dropping bombs on the ground. We're making clones of characters that they're freezing and doing, you know, we're doing really wild stuff. It's kind of
Hell
hard
yeah.
to predict.
Y'all doing
Every single
annoying shit, I ain't gonna
combination,
lie.
every single permutation of circumstances of characters and now cameos and all that. So we don't want to take away from that, you know, just kind of make it generic and then it's easier to balance. But we're always in this kind of constant debate of
Y'all finna rap, I
let
don't
the player
care.
do what they want, but on the other side is still make it a game, still make it a competition, still make it some amount of skill that you're playing in the game, as well as make it
I stopped, but
accessible
this
for
shit
other
crazy.
players. So to me, one of the big things that comes out is letting it stay Mortal Kombat with all the craziness, avoid infinites, avoid things that are just not fun to watch or not fun to play against, and maintain the Mortal Kombat while keeping some level of legitimate.
You talking about patches, Ed?
You're
Yes.
asking the question. you
Patch
know,
the game.
Well, is it still fun? If we remove this part of the move, is it still fun in the game? Or does this move just simply break everything and we have to get rid of it? So it's a constant debate with, you know, QA is involved, design is involved, art is involved, effects are involved. A lot of debates and discussion going on.
FYI, you need to nerf the hell out of Omni, man. I can't
You
stand
walk into one
him.
of their offices when they're working on the game. One of the screens has 4 different streams on from different people around the world playing our game. So we're always paying attention to what's happening in the meta. We're always watching every tournament. We have meetings where we talk about all the things like, is this character too strong? What can we do to make this character stronger? our design team is really locked in on like where the game is sitting at any given time, and they're always formulating ideas of how to make things better, bring some characters up, take some characters a little bit down, just to try to really get that balance line. It feels really awesome, I think, for the entire team to be involved in something that has.
It's really been 30 years, man. That's
movies,
tough.
Music, all of this sort of things.
So
we have
tough.
to take care of it, and I think that's the thing that we really learn is we have to be really careful with what we do with Mortal Kombat because it affects so many people and so many different types of pop culture. It makes it important to us.
Look at those look at those titles.
Someone where I work, I'm like, I work in video games, and they're like, what game? And I was like, Mortal Kombat, and you can tell that to pretty much anyone who asks that question. They'll know what you're talking about. Like when I got the job, my mom knew what Mortal Kombat was, so it's just like it's just been in the zeitgeist and in the world for so many years. It's one of the biggest games of all time.
Yeah, bro. I was saying that in my last reaction. I'll say it again, bro. Mortal Kombat, a pioneer fighting game, bro. Like, you can ask anybody, bro. Like, literally, I was playing fighting games. I was playing Mortal Kombat with my mom. Going at it with my pops in Mortal Kombat. Like, everybody knows this game, bro. And even people that have never played a video game, they know what Mortal Kombat is. So, it's just so sick that, like, 30 years later, man, and this shit has still impacted. It's still impacting fans and young fans and this generation of players. And it's just so dope to see, bro. Mortal Kombat will live on forever, dog. I love this shit. And I so wish I was in Evo, bro. I wish I was a part of this. And sooner or later, we're gonna get there, bro. We're gonna get there, bro. Continue. Ay, Dios mío, Shang Tsung.
I don't know of many fighting games or video games in general that a series has sold 100 million units or the last.
Yo, flex on him, Ed.
Highest selling.
Flex on him, Ed.
Comes out, it's biggest on the.
Flex on him, Ed.
And then there's like a tails off.
Flex on him, Ed.
So many different generations of gaming. You know, arcade games, multiple console games from Sega Genesis,
Look
and
at this
Nintendo,
shit.
To N64 and PlayStation, and then all the following PlayStations and Xbox.
Look at these titles.
You know, we've been around.
Look at this.
Major entries to all of those gaming kind of generations. So the legacy of Mortal Kombat was a game that started with very humble beginnings, very limited expectation because of the situation, that exploded beyond any of our wildest dreams. We never would have thought in 30-something years we would still be doing Mortal Kombat games. It would have expanded into animated shows, comics, movies, lunchboxes. And I believe that it is approaching one of these things that we call like a forever franchise. I believe that it's approaching something that's going to be lasting.
Ed, I'm gonna tell you something right now, bro. See, Ed Boon is too humble, and I'm humble too. But Ed, Mortal Kombat's already there, bro. I'm sorry, Mortal Kombat's already in that forever shit, bro. Mortal Kombat's up there with Call of Duty. It's up there with Fortnite. It's up there with Street Fighter. It's up there with Tekken. It's up there with throw some other games at me, people. Throw some other ones. It's up there with Pac-Man, with Sonic, with Mario. It's up there, dog. It's up there with Virtual Fighter, Soul Calibur. It's up there, bro, with the Kirbys of the world, with the Donkey Kongs of the world, with the Legend of Zeldas in the world. It's up there. Mr. Game & Watch. It's up there with all of them, yo. Mortal Kombat. Ed Boon, you too humble. Oh, this is so freaking lit.
It's amazing how many people have a story that they could tell me, like, it was at a Pizza Hut on this street and that I was 11, my dad gave me 6 quarters, you know, like very specific stories about when they first saw MK.
I'm trying to think, what was my first introduction to Mortal Kombat, bro? It was definitely at the crib. It was definitely in the consoles. I don't know if it was Sega Genesis or if it was PS1. It was one of those two. It had to be Mortal Kombat 2. Either Mortal Kombat 2 or Mortal Kombat 1. I remember playing Mortal Kombat 4 for the PS1 and for the Nintendo 64. I remember my dad taking me to Circuit City. Damn, yo, back then, when Circuit City was popping, we used to go to Circuit City. There was a Mortal Kombat trilogy game. I didn't know what the hell this was. I said, yo, Pops, we gotta cop it. And I remember seeing all the characters. That's a memory that will live on for me. Another memory I have is 2002 Christmas was when I got Deadly Alliance. I told this story before and I'll tell it again real quick. I came home from school. I turned on the PS2 thinking that I was gonna play Deadly Alliance. I started to notice that I'm seeing a different color font. I'm seeing like a yellow gold. What is this? I had no idea that that was Deception. And that was my first time ever seeing Mortal Kombat Deception. Like, imagine a kid that was like 7 or 8 years old, thinking that they were about to play Deadly Alliance, and they are seeing a new Mortal Kombat. This is the first time. There were no trailers on TV. The internet really wasn't, you know, we didn't really have internet like that. And it was my first time ever seeing Shredder Sub-Zero, seeing how Scorpion looked. My first time playing the Conquest mode. That is a memory I will never forget. And I was so pissed that my dad had to pick me up because I had to be with him for the weekend while my family played Mortal Kombat Deception. I was tight. I love you, Pops, but I was mad. I ain't gonna lie. I remember getting Shaolin Monks for my birthday. I remember when my mom pre-ordered Armageddon. It was the first time I ever knew what the hell pre-ordering games were. I never knew that you can pre-order a game. I never knew the concept of I can buy the game now, and when it comes out, I can pick it up without having to pay for it. Like, it was the first time I ever knew what that was, and that was for Armageddon. I remember getting MK vs. DC for Christmas, getting MK9. I think I bought MK. No. I got MK9 also, I think, for Christmas as well, and I beat the story in one day. And then Mortal Kombat X and 11 and 1. By that time, I was able to pre-order the games myself. I remember getting my first paycheck at my first job at American Eagle. I had like $125 in my check because I only worked like 2 days out of the week, and I got paid $125. And the first thing I did was I went to GameStop and I pre-ordered Mortal Kombat X. I'm gonna pay it full right there. The first time I ever did some shit like that. So, like, I have so many stories of Mortal Kombat, bro.
Very specific stories about when they first saw MK1 or MK2. Till the day you die, you will remember the first time you saw Mortal Kombat. What I want to say to our fans is thanks for continuing on this ride with us. It's been such a long journey. And
Ed Boon, thank you!
To
stop playing!
Be inspired by, you know, all the players who get so good at the game. The cosplay is just amazing. And just seeing that next generation of player come in, hopefully we'll be around to continue making games and
yes, sir,
letting them enjoy it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Legacy of Mortal Kombat featuring Ed Boon and Tyler Lansdowne. This was a dope watch, and when I saw this, I immediately knew I had to do a reaction. I had to share my knowledge and my opinions with the viewers, man, with you guys, man. This was fire, man. Like, it's the fact that it's been 30 years and Mortal Kombat's still, like, it's still up there. Like you know, they call it the big three for a reason, right? Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. There's a reason for that, man. Mortal Kombat is a franchise that has been a roller coaster ride for sure, right? It's not perfect. Not every fighting game that drops is a perfect fighting game. But you gotta have those fallouts to rise to some fire, bro. Like, you know, without Armageddon or Deception, you don't get, or without MK vs. DC, right? Those are games that really didn't do that well. Without those games, you don't get Mortal Kombat 9. You don't get MK9. You don't get MKX, as much as people love MKX. You know, with Mortal Kombat 11, the way that playstyle was and how people felt about it, right? The difference, the divide, you know, some people didn't like the slow pace. You don't get Mortal Kombat 1 without that. So, and you know, even people have problems with Mortal Kombat 1. So when the next title comes out, you don't get that title without Mortal Kombat 1. So I appreciate all the titles that come out. I may not enjoy certain titles as much as I do others, but I appreciate it. You know, as much as I talk shit, as much as I rage at these games, as much as I troll on my YouTube videos about how much I hate these games, I love this franchise to death, man. This franchise is my favorite franchise of all time, and nothing will make me happier to one day to walk into NetherRealm Studios, to be a part of this community, to play early access games, to link up with some of my favorite creators who play these games. That would be a true honor for me. It would be a blessing. It would be a humble experience for me. But this was dope. And like I said, guys, watch the full video. for yourselves first. Come back and watch my reaction after. Link in the description down below to watch the full video. Show them love. Subscribe to their channel. If you guys are fans of me, if you appreciate my videos, you comment under their videos and say, yo, we were watching because we saw Clutch react, so we had to watch this. Like show love, bro. It's all about just showing love and just being there, bro. And also, for people that have fatigue or may have problems with having a creative ideas or creative minds, for people that may have ideas but are scared to voice them, watch this video as an example. Some of the shit you heard in this video were out of nowhere scenarios, right? Like they were already in the process of making Scorpion, and by the end they said fuck it, give him a spear, and now Scorpion is iconic for the spear. Something as little as that. If you have a creative idea, man, do not be afraid to voice it. If you can do something about it on your own terms, you do that shit, bro. People are either gonna like it or they not gonna like it. That's it. That's not gonna stop you from doing it. That's not gonna make you be like, alright, well, we can't do it no more. Fuck it. If I say I don't like it, who the hell am I? I'm nobody, bro. I really am, bro. If I say I love it, that's tough. If I say I hate it, that's tough. Like do what you do. If you believe in this shit, you can go crazy with it, bro. And doing YouTube recently has opened my mind up to that, because I used to be that way of I got ideas, but I mean, I don't really have the resources. Like, if you don't got the resources, listen, man, the internet, social media, voicing your opinions, talking about it, it doesn't hurt, bro. And what's dope about these communities is that everybody talks, whether they're trolling, whether they're giving you knowledge, whether they're actually listening. Everybody is going to be involved. Everybody's going to see it. They may not interact with it at first, but everybody sees everything, bro. You can post a video 10 times. We see that shit. We may not watch it every time you post, but we see it. And eventually we're going to keep seeing it. We're going to keep seeing it. We're going to keep seeing it until we be like, fuck it, click it. Let's see what we see it all the time. We might as well look at it. So just put that shit out, man. That's enough of that inspirational stuff. Free the guys, first and foremost. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Free the